Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we are back in the Khabarovsk. So, hopefully you guys are ready. I'm going to show you guys a little bit of something about this ship. Now, I haven't played the Khabarovsk a lot. I do enjoy the ship, I really do. The torpedoes are, as T-Bull describes them, coming out of a black hole. And I don't even use a Togo. You guys know if you've seen my Meet the Khabarovsk video that I don't use a Togo anywhere on my build. I don't use them as the commander, and I don't use them as an inspiration. So, that's to be said. The torp detection range on this is 0.6, which is insane. Ask T-Bull. T-Bull got very, very unfortunate that he managed to come around the corner at the perfect time to be right in a gap. Otherwise, he would have died to my torpedo after he killed me. We ended up fighting in the match right before this one. And my team won the game. I captured a base and moved in to try to capture the second base. We ran into each other right off the bat. His team obliterated me, took over half my hit points real quick. Then I had to disengage and try to just do stealthy stealthy destroyer things in a destroyer that has 6.2 kilometer detection, which is not easy to do. Needless to say, it didn't end well for me. But I still had a really good game. And this one is going to be another good game. And I'm actually going to be showing you guys 2 replays for the price of 1. So hopefully you guys are ready. We're getting double trouble in Kaba. Now we get detected slightly just before this lightning. That tells me, A, he's not running camo, and B, he has no idea what he's doing. He's got great guns. He's not going to win a gunfight versus a Kaba. He doesn't have the health and doesn't have the damage potential. But you see I'm launching the torps already. He's going to try to back into his smoke, but I've taken most of his hit points. I'm trying to shoot him to death. He does manage to disappear, and I accidentally moved the guns just a little bit, so that throws me off. Now, obviously, we know that the Lightning has sonar, and it's got very good ship detection in its sonar. So we're expecting it, and we're not being lit up, which means he's not using it. But just before my torpedoes get to him, he does throw the sonar on. And you can see I dodged those torpedoes by a mile. He shot them at my last known, and I had already doubled back on myself. He launches them, and then immediately dies. He puts up his sonar and dies immediately. That's going to allow us to capture this side. That is an easy win for this side of the map. Now, there is a Conqueror over here, so I can't just willy-nilly start firing my guns. I'm detecting the Conqueror, so we're going to be getting all of this spotting damage for our team if they decide to start shooting him at some point in the near future. But getting rid of a destroyer, especially a destroyer like the Lightning, is as much utility as the Lightning has with the sonar, the quick fire smokes, and the long range torpedoes. Like, the Lightning is a fantastic destroyer at everything. The Kaba is not sneaky at all. But what it does have is it has the nastiest guns of any destroyer at its tier, currently. Now, I'm sure other people might argue gearing, but no, gearing might have rate of fire and all of that good stuff, but the hard-hitting, nasty guns goes straight to the Kaba. This Kaba shreds gearings, and it's no joke. Like, I thought, a gearing with its fast rate of fire might have a chance. No, we have enough armor that they don't do as much damage with their HE, and we absolutely wreck them. So that's something to look for. Now there, I fire my guns just as I'm about to go around the corner, and we get the RNG of Dreams and get the fire. Now, because it's just a single fire, he's not going to damage con it right away. Doesn't want to potentially get set on fire, so we're just going to be accruing some good old damage right off on this one. And so, I'm going to push into the middle cap, get that secured. We've won this side, now it's time to win the middle, and then we will start trying to engage the rest of the enemies as we see fit. Once we secure the win, that's the main thing. I say it a lot, and you guys saw me fumble it in my Asashio yesterday, so you guys know that I am a big proponent of winning the fight, doing your job, okay? And as much as I would love to go around and do 200,000 damage every game in a Kaba, there are more important things to be doing in a destroyer. Now, that being said, if I have a chance to sit in a smoke screen and do some damage, I'm going to take it. Unfortunately for me, I was the one still spotting the Conqueror. I thought my team would be spotting him, but that's not what happens. But as soon as we get ready to start shooting at the Alabama, Conqueror lights up again real quick. But we're getting ready to start shooting at this Alabama, trying to harass them while we cap the base in the smoke screen. It's absolutely beautiful. Now, we don't want to fire our guns just yet because of the fact that we're halfway out of the smoke. We'll light up like a Christmas tree, but as soon as we start reversing, then we can fire the guns again. And now we get to sit here in our smoke and try to set fires and do all the things that the Kaba does really, really well. And I said it in the Meet the video on the Kaba that you don't want to sleep on the AP on this thing either. The AP is fantastic on this ship, and you're going to get to see a little bit of that in a little bit. I'm not the best at aiming with it. I need to play this ship more to get better with the guns, because each ship that you play has a little bit different fire, like the shell travel times and all of that is a little bit different. So you've really got to kind of get a feel for each and every single ship. Especially a ship like the Kaba, which is so incredibly unique with its guns, and its torpedoes are decent, but they're kind of short range at only 6 kilometers. But I really enjoy the Kaba. It's tanky, it can get into fights with cruisers and survive, and you're going to get to see a little bit of that. And then we see the Udachi here, so we're going to try to get rid of him real quick. We do get a fire on that Conqueror, and then our Wichita absolutely destroys that Udachi. And so we're going to start pushing forward. Now, we've got an Edinburgh and we've got an Alaska out here. We've got to be careful. The Alaska's outside of radar range. That's a good thing. But the Edinburgh, broadside on, just absolutely begging for it. I am seriously contemplating getting into a gunfight with this guy. We're going to go ahead and try to torp him if we can. You can see I thought he was going to go to the inside, and then he kind of jukes me out, comes back. And unfortunately, that was all the time it took for that Alaska to close inside 9 kilometers. And because of that, we get a fire kill on the Conqueror too. But because he gets in 9 kilometers, he's going to use his radar in a moment. And he's inside 6.2 kilometers now. And that's our surface detection. So we light up like a Christmas tree. It's time to start engaging. We get some shots, immediate fire. That's the main thing about this thing that I really like. It's very consistent with how easily it sets fires. Edinburgh comes out broadside on, so we go ahead, we're using the AP, and we're trying to get citadels. We are scoring a citadel occasionally, but I'm struggling. I'm not getting very good hits on him. I'm not aiming low enough, and I'm all over the place. You can see I'm struggling. I'm not used to this ship. And so we're fumbling this engagement a little bit. Now, he starts to angle away. We're starting to shatter and ricochet. So we're going to switch back to the HE, try to burn him down. Now he switches back to coming towards us. And then he's going to go back to being completely broadside in a moment. But you can see switching over to the HE, starting to get some good hits. Now that he's starting to engage us, I've got to start wiggling. And these guns are actually really good. They're not as fast as the American destroyers, but they do rotate pretty quickly, so you don't have to wait for them very often. And you'll see I actually am about to run into an island like a potato, and this is going to cost me my life because I have to start reversing. This Edinburgh is getting way too many penetrations. We've talked about the Kaba's extra armor is one of those things that you've got to watch is being broadside to these cruisers like this, because then they start getting a lot of penetration. And while we do have the ability to punch him, and you can see back to the AP going for those citadels, and we are scoring some good penetrations here, he is going to be able to shred us while we're reversing, and there's not a whole lot we can do. We do finish him off, but of course in his last salvo, he gets 4,000 damage, getting a lot of very good penetrations on me. But we did everything in this battle that we could, and we secured the win for the team. And you saw a little bit of what the AP is capable of, even on a heavy cruiser. Well, technically the Edinburgh is a good armored cruiser, but it's not a heavy cruiser. It's got the 152 millimeter guns. But if I had angled a little bit better there, I probably would have survived that, just because we could have ricocheted his shells. Like, the Kaba has enough armor to do that. I've even ricocheted battleship shells in the Kaba. It's very, very good at deflecting shells, but you've really got to work it. You know what I'm saying? You have to work it. Now, we do get a good result out of this one. It's a pretty good team game. 79,000 damage, almost 3,000 base XP, which just goes to show you it ain't all about damage, folks. Do your job. spot for your team, capture bases, and engage when necessary. And you can pull out easy 3,000 damage games in a destroyer. It's not that difficult. Going into Land of Fire, this is going to be more along the lines of what you would expect out of a Kaba game. Now, where you start to run into the Kabas doing 200,000 damage and 25 fires or whatever they end up with all the torpedoes and stuff, I haven't been able to pull that. I think my best game was definitely the Meet the video on the Kaba, but I still like the ship. It's not a ship that I dislike at all. I enjoy taking it out. It's a fun ship. I just play a lot more for the win when I'm in the Kaba than I do for damage, because where ships with the Japanese torpedoes that reach out forever, or the gearing can suck you in because of its rate of fire, and it also has the long-range torps, you can end up getting into a lot more damage games where you're trying to like chase damage. Whereas the Kaba, you're not really trying to chase damage. You're trying to hunt destroyers. You're trying to take what the enemies give you, and at the end of the day, take the bases. You are the king of the destroyers at this time in the World Warships Legends. The Kaba is the pinnacle of gunboat destroyer currently in World of Warships Legends. And any gunfight that you get into with a destroyer, you should win if you're in this, like, period. As long as you're not a complete potato, you should win. Now, we go ahead, we spot the Yami early, and I know that there's likely a destroyer out here. But I've got a guy that's closer who's behind that island right up ahead. And I thought it was a destroyer coming across the front. And unfortunately, it isn't. They do have a destroyer over here, but he's going to hang back quite a ways. And we're going to showcase the difference between the Kaba and the gearing in a little bit. Just as a heads up, it is a gearing that's out there. Now, we go ahead, pop our smoke, and start on the Yami. And what pops around the corner to fire his guns? Anybody? Yeah, it's Alaska. Of course, it would be a radar cruiser. As soon as I pop my smoke, now I know he's got radar. I'm loading the AP because he's broadside, and I think I can get a lot of damage real quick off of him. But I know at any moment I'm about to light up like a Christmas tree, so I'm not sticking around waiting for it. And so as soon as we get lit up, we do have a head start, and this thing can get moving. Now, we've gotten some good damage off of this Alaska already. We take off. He shoots at the rear of our ships, gets a few hits, but nothing too crazy. And then he backs behind the island. So now I've got really nothing to worry about because they were the only ones able to shoot me. The Yami does shoot over the island in a moment. You'll see here in a second. We do turn, and he's going to catch us with one round right through the back and destroy one of our turrets, which is not preferable. Not 100% sure which turret he destroyed. It did say he destroyed something, but I don't see it. Maybe it was a secondary, but yeah, all of my turrets appear to be functioning, and my torp tubes as well. So I'm not 100% sure which turret he destroyed, but had to be some sort of AA or secondary or something. It just looked like it came up as a main battery. And of course, our Bismarck goes down to the gearing, and I got a little bit frustrated with that. I'm not going to lie. I'm out here spotting everything. The Bismarck has sonar. Why are you taking torps in a freaking Bismarck? Now, in his credit, maybe because I hadn't spotted the gearing yet, because the gearing has better surface detection than we do, but it also was launching its torps from way out. So that was really hard for me to spot for him. But still, you got to have some sort of like situational awareness and try to use your sonar. Now, we do get the gearing spotted, and we are going to do what Kabas do to everything, and that is we're going to shred him. Like, he's got no chance. I don't know if he's trying to launch torps or if we just caught him with his pants down because he doesn't have twist and track. But this shows you why twist and track is so important. I knew exactly where he was and was able to plot a course and intercept him now that we knew he was out here. And sure enough, we just deleted him. He never got anything. Like, just never had a chance. Never had his destroyer. Like, it was disgusting how quickly we dispatched to the gearing. And again, if he had been shooting at us, maybe he would have had a chance. But I still don't think so. I think that this thing is capable of doing so much damage, plus the armor is able to reduce some of that HE damage that you would take back, which is the one thing that other destroyers just don't have. Remember, the Kaba has good enough armor to deflect actual armor-piercing rounds if you're using it correctly. So, the fact that they would be shooting me with HE most likely initially, unless you've been in the fight before and you realize that you can actually load AP in a destroyer versus a Kaba as long as they're giving you the broadside, then they're going to struggle to take you out before you take them out. And now this Alaska is just getting played. He's being detected by my Kagero, and I'm able to sit behind this island and utilize it to burn him to the ground. We've got 2 fires on him at least, trying to get that third. He does use his damage con, and then we get another fire, because for once in my life, I actually managed to set a fire after somebody burns a damage con. I can't say it enough, I love this ship. It's completely different from the super sneaky ninja strats that I'm used to. It's not that sneaky, but we do have it down to 6.2, which is respectable. You can work with it. It is something that I keep forgetting about because I'm used to all of the 5-kilometer detections and down below for the Japanese destroyers. But you can see I'm utilizing the island to the best of my ability. He's going to come out, and just as we start to move, we're going to go ahead and start engaging him in open water. Now, which other destroyer do you know of that would engage in Alaska in open water combat? Anybody? Like, just straight up. Nobody. It's not something you want to be doing in a destroyer. However, we're going to be trying to set him on fire again. We know he's already burned his damage cons. This guy has the best damage con system in the world, I think, because he has survived a long time and had multiple fires, and he's just damage conned again. What in the world, man? How many damage cons does that Alaska get? I swear. And then we look over, we shoot at the Yami, and lo and behold, 1 salvo at the Yami, and he fires at us, of course, because Kagero's not detected, you know that. We do manage to avoid all of it, and we get a fire on the Yami. That's what I'm saying. This thing is so consistent. It's got nasty HE, it's got nasty AP, and the torpedoes, while they are super sneaky torpedoes, like, I'm not joking. When T-Bull told me about it, I didn't think about it, but I just looked it up. It's 0.6 kilometers. Put that in perspective. Most of the Japanese destroyers' torpedoes get spotted at 1.5 to 1.8 kilometers. So you're half of that or a third of that detection. And detection is everything when it comes to dodging torpedoes. If you don't see them, you can't dodge them. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and once again re-engage in Alaska in open water combat, this time with a lot more room in between us. He's going to struggle a lot more to hit us, and we're not going to struggle to hit him because it's a big ship. I mean, the Alaska is a super cruiser. It's huge. Got battleship guns, you guys know this, so we're just going to try to burn them down, and you can see we're doing damage with the HE as well as we're getting fires eventually, but for some reason he just refused to get set on fire this time. I don't know why. It was pretty interesting. With all of the good RNG, I guess it was just time for the game to balance me out a little bit. It's like, nope, we've given you a first shot fire so many times this match, it's time to you actually have to work for it. And so, Kagero managed to deal with the Yami, who had just hit us right before this. We do take a hit here and there from the Alaska. Remember, these are battleship caliber guns. These are 305mm AP rounds. And he's doing very little to us as long as we're angled. Most of the time, he's not hitting, and when he does hit, he's getting a pin or a ricochet. Like, he's not getting a lot of damage off of us. But then we get outside of our own effective range, and we have to start closing the gap. Kagero posts his smoke screen, and you can see we're trying to shoot the plane down as well. And we're re-engaging the Alaska now. And look at the dispersion. Like, the dispersion is disgusting, and this is why it's able to set fires. Because it's not only good at setting fires, it hits a lot of shells, which means, you know, the more shells you hit, the more likely you are to get the fire. And we finally get the fire on him. He's starting to burn. We're trying to get him out of here, and lo and behold, just as we get this guy down to where he's about to die, any moment, the friendly Yamato comes around the corner behind me. I know, just to piss people off, I called it the Yamato this time. And then finishes off the Alaska. Really? And you can see me looking at the guy, I was like saying the same thing. I was like, dude, you sat there around the corner that whole time, and the moment that the guy finally gets ready to die, you yoink my kill. Now, you guys know I don't really care if he yoinks my kill. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, I did all the damage to him, and the damage is where you get the XP. The percent of damage that you do to a ship before it dies is what gives you the XP for that ship. Each ship has an XP value, and as you do more and more damage to that ship, more of the ship's total XP gets delved to you. And so the kill shot doesn't really matter, which is why, while it is frustrating sometimes when you're going for Krakens or you're going for something else, it's really not that big a deal if somebody comes in and yoinks your kill, which is why I don't really care. But the enemy destroyers in the base, we're doubling back to try to get there. I see a destroyer on the horizon heading into the base to contest, and I literally say in chat, dude, if you don't want to engage him, because we know it's a Z-23, I said, if you don't want to engage him, just sit there, contest it. I'll be there shortly. I will help you engage it. We will take him out together. And then I notice it's a gearing. And I'm like, oh, never mind. This gearing's going to shred this guy. It's not even a problem. So we're all good. There's also a Conqueror coming from mid headed back to base. Now, a lot of you guys probably think, well, Spartan, you should have got into base. And I see your point. I see your point. But at the same time, there's no reason sitting in the base when you have a chance to come over and finish off the last guy alive, especially when somebody's contesting the base. If that guy wasn't going to be able to contest the base, I would have went into the base. Just due to the fact that there was actually 3 of us in position to get into the base, so we could have beat the guy on capping points. And the destroyer behind me, the Kagero, has been following me, so if I had went into the base, he would have went into the base as well. So we'd have had 3 people into the base, and we'd have been able to win that way. But because I saw the destroyer was getting ready to be into be able to contest him, I figure I'd double back just in case that destroyer somehow manages to die. I would be in a position to be able to intercept him at that point. 94,000 damage done, and only 2,100 base XP though. So if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.